A very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candy Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Evan Sokinyi. I'm glad that you are with us on Kenya's most comprehensive political and public governance analysis show. Remember, here we put things as clear and as simple as possible. I'm here with my resident guest, Wakili Willis Otieno, who is also the deputy party leader of Sabina party and a constitutional lawyer as well. Wakili, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
How was your weekend?
The weekend was good.
Keep on coming here and maybe looking at what is happening in the country and also making our viewers aware of the impacts of some of these things that are happening here within. Talk to me about this. In the wake of that, all that has been happening in the country, we are seeing cases of abductions, people being arrested. Of course, I don't see all those arrests being legal from my point of view. But of course, we've had recently Boniface Mwangi, they are arrested, and of course, he's supposed to be presented in court. All this is happening right now. We have the Interior CS who did not actually appear at the Senate because there is that confusion whether he should be treated as a deputy president nominee or rather appointee or the CS Interior. Where do we get it right when we are facing issues here and challenges with our security system and justice in the country, yet nobody is answerable at all?
The first thing that you must note is that Ruto is using the last tool in the dictator's toolkit, which is abductions, forced disappearances, kidnappings, and killings. That is the path that any dictator will use as a final measure. What else will he do? So even when you see Boniface being abducted yesterday, early in the morning, of course it was meant to send chills in people's spine, so that those Kenyans who are feeling the need to go and make their voices heard during the marathon will be like, they are abducting people today. So you abduct Boniface and want to charge him with which offense? Incitement to violence. He'll be out on 10,000 shillings cash bail. Your deployment yesterday, you spent over 1 million Kenya shillings to deploy those officers. The man hours those officers wasted manning the marathon with balaclavas, armed men, armored vehicles. For what? To stop Boniface Mwangi from exercising his Article 37 rights to demonstrate peaceably unarmed, because he only said we carry a flag. It will not stop the movement. The Kenyan movement is about a new Kenya. And when you see William Ruto and his regime responding the way they are, don't be surprised. He's used the toolbook that every dictator has used. First, start with Kifua. Comes out to call us treasoners. The next day, try to pretend to be soft. Sons and daughters. Doesn't work. Third day, reach out to the opposition. They create a national government of national unity. They are calling it here broad-based government. Doesn't work. Then you go to killings. It's not working. You go to abductions. Heavy deployment of police. Showing force. It will not work. This is the same toolkit that all dictators that are going down have used. So we can see through him. And Kenyans have seen through William Ruto. The issue that the Kenyans have put on the table is the economy. So you don't address the economic problems by deploying heavy police, by tear gassing Kenyans, by abducting them, by killing them. The economy is still the elephant in the room. It's on the table. It's occupying the central part of the room. So before you address this problem, all those things you are doing are sideshows. Will not solve the problem. And William Ruto is incapable. He is incapacitated. He does not even understand the problem. He thinks the problem is Boniface Mwangi. Boniface Mwangi is not his problem. His problem is the failing economy of this nation. And his response to that economic challenge is what is causing people to be dissatisfied. Today in Kenya, any public gathering will not end before people start shouting, Ruto must go. Where have we ever seen that happening? The more he's deploying the police, the more he's abducting, the more the chance for Ruto must go. Why? Any small altercation, gathering in public, even a slight accident between two border, the next thing people start shouting, Ruto must go. Why? Because he's not addressing the problem. He's dealing with the side issues. Those abductions, those kidnappings, those killings, the fake charges in court. Those will not deter Kenyans. You will only change the actors, but the script is the same. Even if you abduct Boniface Mwangi, there are more Boniface Mwangis who've been born. There are more and more Kenyans who are being born every day. Right off their mother's wombs. They are feeling the economic pain.
Okay.
They cannot access diapers, cannot access formula. They cannot be treated using shisha nonsense. The public transport is at a shambles. They have no access to quality education. JSS is in shambles. The UHC worker who is attending to that kid has not been paid for 6 years, has been paid only half salary. Has no gratuity. And they're in every village. They're the ones holding the healthcare system slightly afloat. But Ruto is doing nothing. So, tough luck.
Okay. So, my question therefore would be, these things we are witnessing, the extrajudicial things happening here in the country, and we expect that at least somebody should be held accountable here. We've not seen anybody being even prosecuted for all these abductions. We had even the case of Njagi, who was held in custody almost for 30 days, and the kind of harrowing experience that he went through based on his own narration of the same, we've not seen anything being done here. Now, I want us to get back to it that in this particular stage and where we find ourselves as a country, who then should be answerable? And before you perhaps answer that, maybe you tell me about the situation here when it comes to who is now in charge of the Interior Ministry, because we did not see Professor Kithure Kindiki honor the summons at the Senate.
The first thing that we must say is this. The buck stops with William Ruto. He's the president.
Okay.
All these killings, all these abductions, all this deployment of heavily armed men are at the behest of William Ruto. He is the chief executive of the country. The buck stops with him. Others are sideshows. So he's the one who bears the ultimate responsibility for all that is happening in the country today. If the economy was doing well, he will claim the flowers. Now that there are abductions, he must also take the thorns. It's his regime, ultimately. Because not even Gachagua. It is his regime. And I'm telling you, he has no solution to the problem. And if these people are being used, even him himself, he thinks he will get away with this. I'm sorry. The beauty about law is that there's no limitation of action period for criminal offenses. And what is happening in Kenya are now bordering on crimes against humanity. They've reached the threshold of crimes against humanity. People are going to be called to book, even if it's not in Kenya, but internationally. So the more they kidnap, the more they kill, the more evidence of the crimes against humanity. And the people who bear the command responsibility of the police units, the IG of police, the DCI, the head of intelligence, William Ruto himself, the minister in charge of interior, they will be responsible. They will be tried. They are just buying time, if you ask me. Because they will not be in those offices forever.
Okay.
A time will come when they'll be out. And these files will be reopened. And they'll be called to book. And Kithure Kindiki remains the CS Interior. He should stop deluding himself that he's a deputy president. He's not. He does not qualify to be a deputy president. Article 137 of our constitution is very clear. He ought to have resigned as a CS 6 months before the date of the purported election. He ought to have been cleared by IEBC. IEBC does not exist. Our Supreme Court, our Court of Appeal, our High Court have all said what constitutes an IEBC. It must have commissioners. And the body cannot perform the functions of the IEBC when there are no commissioners in office. And that was seen even in EACC There was a case which was filed and the court said, no, without commissioners, the commission could not function and recommend prosecutions. So also with IEBC, without commissioners, in the BBI case, the Supreme Court said it very well. If for the commission to perform its function, the commissioners must be there. Luckily for the BBI case, they said there were 3 commissioners and they considered a quorum. Today we have 0 IEBC commissioners, 0. So who cleared Kindiki to run, to be elected? Kithure Kindiki did not meet the minimum qualifications to be a deputy president that are set out in Article 137 of our Constitution. He does not meet even a single one of them, other than being a Kenyan and a registered voter. He only meets a registered voter and a Kenyan, here too. The rest...
There are also academic qualifications that are needed here. Doesn't he meet them?
The academic qualifications is found in the Elections Act. I'm talking of the ones in the Article 137. He does not meet them.
Why are you saying so?
He is a state officer. CS. He ought to have resigned 6 months ago.
Okay.
He has not been cleared by IEBC. He didn't get 2,000 signatures in support of his nomination in 24 counties. So, how is he claiming to become a deputy president? It's illegal. It's illegal. And the agendas who are trying to lie to him that because elected under Article 149, he is exempt from Article 137, that the qualifications are not in Article 149. That is nonsense. That is bullshit. The qualifications to be a president or a deputy president are found in Article 137. Before you are elected in Article 149, you must meet the qualifications which are found in Article 137. So you start at 137 before you go to 149 for the election.
Okay.
And the Speaker said, Parliament voted for him. By the time you are going to Parliament for the vote, you must have passed through a process confirming that you qualify. That is why even in presidential in general elections, the voter does not look at the qualifications. You pass through a process at IEBC that confirms you meet the qualifications. Then your name is subjected to the electorate.
Okay.
So also Kindiki should have started at 137, IEBC, then the name is taken to the voters in that particular instance, Parliament, to vote for him. He does not meet. Even if he was taken that oath of office, he'll be an illegal deputy president. He does not meet the minimum qualifications to be a deputy president of the Republic of Kenya.
But of course,
simple.
This is the first time that this is happening under the current constitutional dispensation, and we are actually waiting to see, because we are facing one of the biggest legal constitutional tests here as a country. Let's see how that goes. But then, so you were here saying very well that he should have actually appeared before the Senate as the CS in charge of Interior.
He is still the CS in charge of Interior, even today. He is not the deputy president, nominee or otherwise. He is an illegally nominated deputy president.
Okay. Back to Boniface Mwangi's case and all, with regards to all those abductions and all that, there was that kind of assertion of the police officers there saying they are waiting for orders. Now, my question would be, who is this bringing the orders? Because initially we had a problem with the former Inspector General of Police who decided to resign after the pressure from the Gen Z's what happened back there in June. And then we also have now a new Inspector General of Police. Of course, there was the acting IG who had a lot of controversies, including the contempt of court. I wonder whether that was also solved. But then here we are, seems like even if these people are changed and new ones brought in, that the script is still the same. Where are we getting it wrong here as a country?
That's what I'm telling you. This is the script of William Ruto. His script is to ignore the law.
Okay.
His script is to rule with impunity. And I'm telling him and the police commanders that their date with the destiny is coming. They will be called to account. You know, when you hold certain offices, you must start by saying, what is my exit? Because exiting, you will exit. No one stays in an office forever. We are not a monarchy, where someone will say, I'm a prince, my destiny is to become a king, then I die as a king. We are a republic, led by the rule of law, a constitutional republic, where there is nobody in office who is given a lifetime service in office. They don't exist. There is nobody. In the public sector, everybody has a date of leaving. So anybody who is holding those public offices, just know that a date is coming when I'll have to exit. That is guaranteed. So as you serve, ask yourself, what will be my exit?
Okay.
How do I define my exit? If you want to define your exit by killings, abductions, kidnappings, forced disappearances, continue. That's your lot. That is your destiny that you define for yourself. So when the chicken come home to roost, when the day of reckoning comes, please face it with similar confidence that you've served and deal with that destiny that you created for yourself. So those police commanders, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it's a new world. Kenya crossed the Rubicon a long time ago. You know, when Moi was president, before 1992, there was no sunset date for Moi. The assumption was that he will serve forever until he dies, just like Kenyatta had served until he died. There was no sunset date. But now, we have a sunset date for anybody in public office, including the president. You cannot serve forever. Who knew Uhuru will be out? He's out. So, when you do these things, you are defining your own destiny. You are defining your exit, and it will catch up with you. The people you are killing, the Gen Zs you are killing and forcefully abducting, they have one advantage over you. They have the advantage of time and age. They will outlive you. So it means, at the time when you exit office, Gen Zs will be the ones occupying those offices. They will deal with you. And as I've said, they have advantage of time and age. They can comfortably see you through the court and the prisons until you die. While them, they are still young and agile, serving the republic. So be very careful.
Okay.
But it's not for me to advise anybody. Everybody defines their destiny. If that is your fate, that date is coming.
So you're saying the buck stops with the president, but he's been heavily silent on this?
The buck stops with him, because ultimately he's the commander-in-chief. And all these things are being done to the benefit of who? Who is the ultimate beneficiary? It's him. He must take his skunk and serve with it. Cannot cherry pick.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's wait and see what happens with regards to the kind of unfortunate events that we've been witnessing in the country here, murders everywhere, femicide, homicide, and all that. And of course, the abductions that we've witnessed, and maybe the kind of effort that we've seen here being put in order to suppress voices of dissent. Let's wait and see, but we hope that the government is listening and the right action will actually be taken so that we do not witness this other country, because we need to progress. That's progressive democracy, what we are talking about here. Till we have this conversation again, have yourself a lovely day. But remember, you can always weigh in on our conversation here and tell us what you really think. Thank you so much for tuning in. Being here with Wakili Willis Otieno. My name is Evans Okinyi.